Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra-parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda-yogindramatasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya-matasya Padma Padam cha hastamalakam cha Shishyam Tam Todakam Vartikakaramanyan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. 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 Anant, Shankrananda Guru Padambu Janmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Graseka Karmane. In the discussion on the nature of Atman, we saw how various schools of thoughts have understood or misunderstood the nature of Atman. The followers of Prabhakara school, Prabhakaraha, they are known as, otherwise known as Tarkikaha, logicians. They say, by nature, Atman is Jadam. And it has a quality of Chetanatva, guna of Chetanatva. Prabhakaraha Tarkikascha, in verse number 88. Prahuhu syat chidatmatam akashavat dravyama atma shabdavat dad gunaschitihi. Akashavat dravyam. It's a substance. And it has Akasha has the quality of sound. In the same way, this Dravyavat Atma, tasya ekah gunah asti chetanatvam. Shabdavat tat gunah chitihi. Chitihi, consciousness, is a guna. This is called samanya guna, the natural quality. But it's a quality, not a swarupa. And it has got other such additional qualities which are known as icha, dvesha, prayatna, prayatnata, dharma, adharma, sukha, asukha, tat samskarascha tasya ete gunaha chitivat iritaha. Like that of the chiti, consciousness. Other qualities are also there, which are circumstantial. Circumstantial, on what basis it is circumstantial? Their argument is because icha, dvesha, likes and dislikes, etc., or anger, etc., are not found at the time of sleep. So whenever mind comes into the picture, these qualities start to express. So that's why it says, Atmano manasa yoge. Atmanaha manasa yoge. Swadrushtavat vashato gunaha. And also adrushta vashato gunaha. Adrushta means karma. And how the mind, because if mind comes into contact with the Atman, then these special qualities come to express. Then it should be the same in all. No, it is based upon individual's karma. And based upon that alone, those certain qualities are expressed. Jayante. Gunaha jayante. Praliyante. Praliyante, they disappear. When? Sushupte. In the time of sleep, they are not seen to be expressing. And when one wakes up, the mind, because of the preconceived, impressions of their actions of the past, previously done, adrushta samshayat liyante sushupte and jayante adrushtavashaha. Adrushta here to be understood as karma. So this is the tarkikaha, or what is known as the prabhakaraha. Their argument is. So further continuing in verse number 91, Chidimatva chetanoyam Icha dvesha prayatnavan Syadharma dharmayo karta Okta dukkadi matvatah Chidimatva chetanoyam Icha dvesha prayatnavan Syadharma dharmayo karta Bhokta dukkadi matvatah. Chaitanya gunatvena chetanam bhavati atma. चैतन्य गुणत्वात्. चैतन्य गुण है इसलिए उसका चेतनत्व है. So it's why it says chitimatvat. Chitimat means one who has chiti, consciousness. Gunavan. Gunam yasyasi is the gunavan. Balam, balavan. Chitivan. So sometime van or sometime mat. So Hanum asti iti Hanuman. So Hanumat. Hanumat. Mat means one who has, what that which has. Buddhiman, buddhimati. So chiti matvat having the quality of consciousness. Again, please understand, these Tarkikaha, Prabhakaraha do not hold the view that Atman is, by Swarupa, it's not consciousness, it is a substance and it has a quality called consciousness. So therefore, Chitimatvat Chetanaha. Chitimatvat Chetanaha. That's the first thing. इसको quality है, therefore it is considered as Chetanam. And api, so I am, because it is Chetanavan, therefore Payatnavan api. See, जिसके पास चेतन है वही है प्रयत्न कर सकता है. So any of the inert thing which does not have chetanatvam, they do not put any effort. Right? If a chair is there, being jada, it doesn't put any effort to do anything else. Whereas a tree will put an effort to survive. Right? When it is winter, it will shed the leaves. Why? Because it has to maintain its heat. And it cannot spend energy by growing the branches and trees and flowers, and because it needs a lot of energy, so it would not do it. It will shred everything, but it will survive. Then when the spring starts, when he knows that enough sunlight is there and external other factors are also helping out, so at that point what it will do, it will start bringing out the leaves. So even a so-called a tree which is said to be not moving from here to there, but it has Chaitanya Guna. So anything that has Chaitanyatvam as a Guna will become Prayatna. Therefore, Ichha Dvesha Prayatnavan. Ichha Dvesh ke liye prayatna karta hai. Dvesh ke liye prayatna karta hai. Meaning, it engages in actions which will lead to, which will be out of desire or it is out of Dvesha. It will go away from that which is not liked. It go towards something which it likes. Ichha Dvesha Prayatnavan. And because it is Ichha Dvesha Prayatnavan, then it has to think about Dharma and Adharma. Syat Dharma Adharmayoho Karta. So धर्म करने से पुण्य मिलता है, पुण्य करने से मुझे जो इच्छा है वो ही मिलता है. So I do engage in the dharma so that I will get what I desire. Dharma, adharma can be understood as punya and apunya. Punya, apunya meaning somebody is behind all the way. Okay. Punya, punya, meritorious, demeritorious actions. So uska karta bhi hota hai. So see the one being the cause, another being effect. चेतन है तो प्रयत्न है. प्रयत्न किसके बारे में? इच्छा द्वेष के बारे में. वो कारण है धर्म अधर्म के लिए. हाँ, so धर्म अधर्म में किम करता. So because his chetana guna is there, he becomes a person of effort. Effort is towards what? Icha and dvesha, and because of which he engages in dharma and adharma. Karta. So when dharma karne se पुण्य मिलता है, पुण्य कर्म से सुखम, अधर्म करता दुखम. So therefore next one is what? Bhokta. Bhokta what? Sukha dukkhati matvatah. Chetanah, chetanavan, chetanam. So therefore this one which is now having the quality of consciousness become bhokta of dukkhati matvatah. Because being an experiencer of dukkha, etc., he becomes a bhokta. Because he is a performer of dharma and adharma, he becomes karta. Because he is interested in getting what one desires and getting rid of what one does not desire, become prayatnavan. So, one quality of Chetanatvam leads to such an individual becoming Karta and Bhokta. So, this is how they explain the nature of a jiva. An individual soul is subject to such kind of activities, traits, and qualities. So the Atman possesses intelligence and is therefore called intelligent. It manifests intelligence in the form of desire, passion, aversion, and effort. As a doer, it performs good and bad deeds and is in consequence experiencer of pleasure and pain. This is how it is explained by Prabhakaraha. So now this very quality, if one, because see, earlier we saw Jain people who followed the mother of Jain, they said the Atman is Madhyama. The size of Atman is Madhyama. Whereas those who are Anuvadinaha, they say Atman is Paramanu because it has go through the nerve system to experience. Remember that we thought about. So then they say what happens when a person dies, and so it becomes which size it becomes. It becomes size of that person. So it is not Anu. It is Madhyama. But then Prabhakara will say it is Prabhu. It is all pervading. It does not have like Akasha. Akasha is not Anu. Akasha is not some small or medium size. It is XL, XXXXXXL. Whatever X you want to put there. How much ever X's you. Excellent. So it is. So if it is so widespread, then it likes Akasha, it has quality of Chetanatva. Sarva Vyapaka. So even if it is Sarva Vyapaka, how does it sometimes get Sukham, sometimes gets Dukkham, etc.? What causes that? So that is question is raised in this because they want to explain the reason why a jiva is Sukha Dukkha Bhokta. Sukhi and Dukhi, not always Sukhi, not always Dukhi. Nobody can be always Sukhi and nobody can be always Dukhi. At some point of time, one becomes affected by turn of events, Dukhi or Sukhi. So therefore, what is that determines the experience of joy and sorrow? That is said in the next one. Yatatra karma vashatah Kādāchit sukādikam Tata lokantare dehe Karmanechāti janyate Yatatra karma vashatah Kādāchit dikam Tatra lokantare dehe Karmanechāti janyate. Also, what causes the janma, punarjanma? They have to explain cause of the punarjanma, what causes the rebirth as an individual jiva. So there, yatha, just as atra means atra dehe iya loke, in this very world where you and I are, kadachit, sometimes, once in a while, kadachit sukadikam. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are unhappy. What is the cause for it? Karma vashatah. Due to karma. What makes us happy about a thing, what makes us unhappy about something else is caused by what? Caused by karma, what we have done or what we have to experience of what we have done. Our own actions can result in experience of joy or sorrow. In the same way, tata lokantare dehe, not in this loka or not in this condition, in another condition, another world of experience, another body. That is also karma only. Karmena, because of action alone, ichchadi janyate. In other bodies also the desire etc. takes place according to the karma alone. So the reason also is given for the rebirth, because they have to completely, the philosophy should become complete. So the jiva is continuously engaging in various actions based upon past actions or experiences, joys and sorrows. According to them, the power of action in this life, a desire may be produced for another life in another world. So all these properties, including consciousness, are occasional. Kadachitkam, sukadikam. It is not determined, predetermined. It is determined by the action alone. This is the prabhakaras. So understand, prabhakaras are those who are believers in karma kanda. Because they give prominence to karma only. Because according to your karma, the soul will be the result of your action and your rebirth. So that is how they explained the nature of the jiva being not by itself is conscious, but it has the quality of consciousness which leads one to engage in joy, sorrow, etc. Why it is so? Why is that they don't accept that jiva by itself is conscious? Then they have to distinguish jiva from Ishvara. They won't accept jiva as Ishvara. And then the karma is nahi chahiye na. कर्म किसको चाहिए? जिसके पास इच्छा है. इच्छा किसके पास है? वो दुखी है. क्यों दुखी है? Because it's changing. Why changing? Because it's a quality. So if Chetanatva is there by nature, Swarupena Chetanatvam Chet, then if by nature it is Chetana, then how is it different from Ishvara then? And if it is not Ishvara, it's different from Ishvara, then he will not become a doer of things. Karma Kandian cannot do that, because then the whole Karma Shastra will go down. Karma Shastra is valid so long as we are unhappy. Isn't that true? I am happy. Then why do you need another loka, punya loka, swarga loka? क्यों चाहिए? If it is conscious, then it will not die also. Correct? And if you don't die, then where is the question of going to punya loka or papa loka and all? So the whole built up of idea that you are subject to joys and sorrows, subject to pain and life, subject to birth and death, is built up so that you become a doer of action. And by doing action, you get punya. By punya, you go to different lokas of experiences. And then keep doing the karma. And because that decides your experience. Bhagavan Krishna very clearly says, no, Traigunya Vishya Vedaha Nistraigunya Bhavarjana Nirdvandvohi Mahabhoho Sukam Bandhat Pramuchyate. Yamitam Pushpitam Vacham Prabadanti Avipasitaha Vedavadarada Pata Nanyadasiti Vadina. Vedavadarada Partha. They only quote the Vedas. Na Anyadasti iti Vadina. There is nothing else. What is said in the Purva Mimamsa, that alone is right. They don't even go into the Uttara Mimamsa. That is philosophical section. So, therefore, the Prabhakaras and Tarkikas are those who hold on to the view Karmana eva siddhihi, Karmana eva sukam cha dukkam cha, Karmana eva lokantara praptihi, Karmana eva punarjanma prapti tasmat sada karma kuru. I know this. Keep doing. So, continuing here. Evam cha sarvagasyapi sambhavetam gamagamao karma kanda samagrotra pramanam iti te vadan evam cha sarvagasyapi sambhavetam gamagamau karma kanda samagroscha namiti te vadan karma kanda eva pramanam iti te vadan te avadan avadan uchyante. They spoke or they speak. What? Karma kandaha atra samagraha. Completely, fully. Karma kanda eva pramanam. The Uttara Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa alone is the pramanam. Bhagavan Krishna says, when it comes to doing and what to do, what not to do, Shastram praman. Tasmat Shastram pramanante karya akarya vyavasthito ज्ञात्वा कर्म विधानोक्तम कर्म कर्तुम शास्त्र विधानोक्तम कर्म कर्तुम इह अर्हसि. You are fit to do your action after having understood from the Shastra what to do, what not to do, etc. So this is in context of engaging in this world, you must have a guidance. But that he considered as only at the level of ignorance. At the plane of ignorance, these are all valid. Ajnana bhumau karma eva karmani eva prayatnam kuru. Akarmani, so from akartavyat nivrittihi, kartavye pravrittihi. And what is to be done? Engage in that. What should not be done? Disengage from that. All these are all valid in the state of ignorance. Evam cha sargasyapi swagasyapi sarvagasyapi. So in all, even though sarvagatas, even though the Atman, I mean here to be understood as Atman as a substance is as a dravya is sarvagataha akashavat. Sarvagasyapi gama agamau sambhavetam. Coming and going happens. Manifestation, unmanifestation happens. Gama agama means birth and death. Gamanam, jananam. Agamanam, maranam. Gama agamau. Gama agamau. So both coming and going, birth and death. Oh, how can that be if it is sarvagataha? So it says karma. Karmana eva, manifestation. Karmana eva, and manifestation. Even though they don't say a anumatrameva atman na madhyavasthiti atman na sarvagata prabhustiti atma. Like akashavat, yet it is a substance having quality, and then the chetanatvam is a quality, and because of which it has the prayatnam, it does sukha dukkha, etc. All that. So, and based upon the karma it does, it goes to punya and papa lokas, all that. So, this is all explained systematically by them. This is how it is. Interesting. These people have thought through all that. Okay. Completely samagraha te brahmanam idi vadinaha. All right. Now they have to also explain what is this Atman in us. In the individual, what is they consider? They definitely do not consider Annamaya kosha as Atman. Pranamaya kosha is not Atman. Manomaya kosha is not Atman. Vijnanamaya kosha is also not Atman. Anandamaya kosha eva Atman. And why? Because it has to be somewhere. It is a substance, right? It is a thing which has a quality. So it has to have a presence in us. So what is this presence here? Because buddhi is shanikam. That is understood as constant coming and going. And manaha also fickle. And prana is prana, annamaya, all are products. So this one must be greater than all of this. It is greater than annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya. What is that which is there in us other than these four, greater than these four, which is present? That is Anandamaya. Now he says here, Anandamaya kosho yaha Sushuptau parishishyate Aspashtachitsa atmesham पूर्वकोशोऽस्य ते गुणाः आनन्दमयकोशो यः सुषुप्तौ परिशिष्यते अस्पष्टचित्स आत्मेषां पूर्वकोशोऽस्य ते गुणाः यः सुषुप्तौ परिशिष्यते Yaha, that which is sushupto, in the state of sleep, parishishyate, remains. What remains in the state of sleep? Vijnanamaya kosha is not operating. Manomaya kosha is not. Prana is not. Consciously is not going on. And then Annamaya kosha is not. What remains there is only Anandamaya. So therefore, by the sheer logic of deduction, they come to know what remains at the time of sleep is Anandamaya kosha. Sushupto parishishyate. So this is considered as the Pratama kosha, according to them. We think Annamaya kosha is the Pratama kosha. It is not. Annamaya is the last one. Because it's totally inert. Because you cut a part of the body, it is just inert. It has no Chaitanatvam. Right? So even Vijnanamaya kosha, which is considered to be an intelligent one, borrowed intelligence. Why? Because it is not there in sleep. So what is remaining there? It's Anandamaya kosha. So Anandamaya kosha yaha sushupto parishishyate. But in the state of sleep, it is aspashta. Aspashtachit saha. Aspashta means not in full consciousness. Aspashta, right? Because we do not know anything that is around us in the sleep time. There is aspashtachit, incomplete, vague consciousness. Saha Atma. That Atma is aspashtachit. It is a vague level of consciousness. Atma esham and te purvakoshasya gunaha. So this is the gunaha, this is the quality, asya gunaha. It is purvakoshaha. It is considered as a purvakosha, pratama kosha. Asya chetanatvam gunaha. Te gunaha here means chetanatvam is the samanya and icha, dvesha and all these things we say it as vishesha gunas. So te gunaha meaning it is said chetanatvam Pratama Guna or the Chetanatvam is Samanya Guna and Ichcha Dvesha Ityadi Vishesha Gunaha te Gunaha Asya. Asya Atmanah. Atmanah Yah Annamaya Kosha Sushupto Parishishyate Atma Esha Atma. So this particular Atma, the one substance which remains as Anandamaya Kosha, which remains in the state of sleep, for that very Atman alone are the qualities such as Chetanatvam, which is Samanya, and Ichchadvesha Ityadi Vishesha Guna. Their argument is therefore, in the absence of all, what remains is Atman. While we chant Mano Buddhyahankar Chittani Naham, so Chidananda Rupa Anandamaya Kosha Rupa that they will conclude, मैं आनंदमय कोश ही हूं, because that alone is remaining. Now, the interesting thing is, if I say Anandamaya Kosha bhi मैं नहीं हूं, from which standpoint you say that Anandamaya Kosha I am not? Because there is nothing else for that. Earlier also established that point. मैं आनंदमय कोश हूं, क्यों? क्योंकि कोई और नहीं है, इसको निवारण करने वाला कोई नहीं है. If Vijnanamaya Kosha is negated in Anandamaya Kosha, in the stage of Sushupti, Vijnanamaya Kosha is removed. And mind is removed by Vijnanamaya Kosha. And then Pranamaya, Mannamaya. So the succeeding one, as though, has removed the previous one. Beyond this Anandamaya Kosha, there is nothing to remove the Anandamaya Kosha. Isliye, because it is unnegatable, that alone is there. And that alone is there as Atman, and that alone has the guna called Chetanatvam, and it is also having other gunas like Ichcha, Dvesha, Ityadi. As I said, they do not consider Chetanatvam as its Swarup. Again, the reason I told you why it is so. Now, if it is, so according to Prabhakaras, according to Tarkikas, so essentially it is Jadam having the quality of Chit, Samanya Guna. So this is to be understood. The footnote that is given here is to negate this point. When a man says, I did not know anything, I was sleeping happily, his experience of ignorance and memory of happiness go against this view. For if Atman were a non-conscious, this would not be possible. What is not possible? To know that I slept. See, this book is there. Does it know that it is there? We say it is not there. Maybe it knows. So, if it knows, then knowing is its nature then. When everything else is not there, it knows its presence. So the argument, the footnote says, if I say that I slept well, that means that I know. This is standpoint of Vedanta. So that's why he puts that there. Again, in the Vedas, Atman has been described as attributeless. Desire, etc. are the properties of the mind, not the Atman. Moreover, in the waking and dream states, when the mind is operative, desire, etc. are seen, but not in sleep. So when it is, mind is there, these are all there. Mind is not there, these are not there. To whom then it belongs to? When mind is there, all those qualities express. When mind is not there, all those qualities are not there. So therefore, it obviously by logic, it belongs to the mind only. Let us say if somebody walks in and I get a smell, beautiful fragrance of that perfume she is wearing. And she goes away, the smell is gone. So what do I conclude? That person only is carrying that fragrance. It's simple logic. In the same way, Mind is there, then Icha, Dvesha, etc. is there. Mind is not there, it is not there. So it belongs to mind. Why are you saying it is belonging to the Atman? This is the point in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So, moreover, further, according to the logicians, there are many and all pervasive Atmans. Therefore, each being connected with all bodies, all action, etc., will not be possible to determine which belong to whom. They have to accept the oneness of the self, oneness of the Atman, that which cannot, because according to them, what? Each one is an individual jivas based upon the karmas. And based upon the karmas, there is rebirth, etc. So therefore, there are many jivas, and many jivas that they are subject to birth and death based upon the karma. This view is not acceptable. Now, let us leave this part a little late come to, because the next group of people are going to argue on how, while sleeping, you are able to become aware that you slept. I mean, after waking up, how do you know that you slept? That is going to be argued now. They are called Bhattas, Kumarali Bhatta. These people say, according to Prabhakara's, Atma is Jadam, having the guna of Chetanatva. They say, so because if we see the verse which before, in verse number, what is that? There is an argument based upon the nature of verse number 87, if you say, second line, Achitrupoda chitrupaha chita chitrupa ityapi kalaham yayuhu bahuda. Those who studied Shastra also, they have this kind of argumentation. What argument? Somebody say it is Chit. Somebody say Achit. Somebody say it is Chitachit. Sometimes it is Jada. Sometimes it is Ajada. So now, Kumarali Bhatta, they say it is such Chitachit. It is sometimes Chit and sometimes Achit. Meaning sometimes it is Jadam, sometimes it is Chetana. It moves between. And they have reason, and they will also give logic. They will also quote the Shruti. Like here, Gudam Chaitanyamrut Utprekshya Jadabodha Swarupatam Atmano Bruvate Bhattaha Chit Utpekshotita Smritehe Gudam Chaitanyam Utprekshya Jadabodha Swarupatam Atmano Bruvate Bhattaha Chit Utprekshotita Smritehe. Bhata means not the one who's the shoes that you wear. Bhata shoes. Morally, Bhata started that actually. No, not that way. They are also Purva Mimamsakas. They are also belonging to the Karma Kanda portion, which includes Upasana also. Karma and Upasana. They say, in the Atman, Chaitanya is Gudam. Gudam means what? Hidden. Hidden in the sense, it manifests sometimes and becomes unmanifest Jadam sometimes. Gudam Chaitanyam. And how the Chetanatva of Guna is come to be known, they also accept that it is a Guna, but it is not always it is Chaitanya. It is having Jadatva also. And when does it to become known to be having consciousness? Utprekshya. Word is used utprekshya. Utpraiksha. Utpreksha means anuman. Inferentially. Inferentially, they know this because it is of the nature of both. Jada bodha swarupatam. Of the nature of Jada and Bodha. Jada and Chetan. Both. So, Atmanaha Jada Rupa, Jada Bodha Swarupadam Bruvate. Bhataha. Bhataha, those who are following the Kumarali Bhatta, they were saying that this nature of the qualities of Jadatva and Chetanatva, both are there in the Atman. Atmanaha Jada Bodha Swarupadam Bruvate. Now, how do you come to that conclusion? That Chetanatva is hidden. How do you say that? Because this comes to be manifest only upon waking up. Right? A person is sleeping. At the sleeping state, what is the experience? Jadam. He has no application of intelligence. No way he expresses his intelligence. No way he expresses his consciousness. It is as good as any other piece of, blade of grass, means piece of wood, etc. But when is become utpreksha uttita smritehe, inferential based upon a memory. Now, one should understand at this point the basic tenet of logic. No memory is possible without prior experience. Correct? Can I remember something which I have never experienced? Huh? Can you? Can you remember anything or recall anything? If I have not met a person ever in my life, and person in front of me, what thought would come to me? I've not seen him. I've not seen this object. So no relevant thought can arise out of a thing on which I have no experience. Now, this is the logic he puts. If you say upon waking up that I slept, I did not know anything, that Jadatva was your experience or not? So, where is the Jadatva coming from? Jada experience is there only when you're a Jada. Can I have an experience of something which I am not? So the Jadatvam is also an experience, but because of which you are able to recall upon waking up, saying that I did not know anything or I slept like a Jadam. So that is the argument he puts here. The followers of Bhatta hold that consciousness is hidden in Atman and that its nature is both consciousness and unconsciousness. That is Jada Bodha Swarupadam Atmanaha Bruvate. This is inferred, Utpreksha, when? Of the remembrance of the sound sleep, Uttita Smritehe, Uttita Smritehe, of the one who has the memory after waking up, Uttita Smritehe. So that means Nidrad Uttita Smritehe. Hair splitting, Swamiji. This is necessary to ward off all possible arguments. One may not consider it as necessary right now, but in the deeper meditation, one may probably get such doubts. And that doubt should not be there. not for the sake of arguing with anybody else. These kind of doubts will come to our mind, if at all, if we really think about it. If such kind of doubts arise, how to take care of those arguments or take care of those doubts? Because doubt clearance alone will lead on to samadhi. If doubt is there, samshayatma vinashyati first of all. But with this doubt in the mind, one cannot enter the state of meditation in which knowledge alone prevails, which has absolutely no ambiguity. There's not be any ambiguity about this knowledge. There's no uncertainty about this knowledge. There should be absolute clarity. That absolute clarity alone will lead one to abidance. So therefore, we need to understand that even the state of sleep, upon waking up, which one person can recall the state of slumber, that means the recollection is possible only when they had experience of that slumber. And experience of slumber means what? Jadatva. So इसलिए आत्मन जड़ भी है और चेतन भी हो. So that is the reason he puts this there. Now you see, in that part, I put a lamp inside and a little hole, then only it will survive. But air has to be there. So the lamp inside is there or not when you are standing from outside looking at it? है कि नहीं? है गूढ़. But when it is lid is closed, you have no idea that it is there. But inside it is illuminating. So one must understand that the part in general is jada, but it has the possibility of having light within itself. Only when I open the lid, I know that there is a light. In the same way, there is experience of jadatva in the state of sleep and waking up, which inferentially understands upon waking up when the conscious quality has come in. Then with that conscious quality, or guna, one comes to infer the experience of jadatva. Now, let us say when you walk out of this room or this place and you see wet road. Now, wet road you have, when you see, what is your conclusion? It has rained. You didn't see the rain. So I am not seeing the rain happening at the time when it was happening. Only when I walk out, I see the effect. From effect, you infer the cause. And you are able to infer the cause because at some point of time, you have seen when it rains, it is getting wet. So the inference is possible only when there is a prior experience. This is a simple logic. Inferential knowledge presupposes pratyaksha. प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण से ही अनुमान प्रमाण का उत्पत्ति है और प्रमाण हो सकता है. So अनुमान प्रमाण based upon प्रत्यक्ष अनुभव. So this is the logic he puts there. ये अनुमान होता है कि मैंने सोया, वो सोने के समय में जड़ता, वो जड़ता of yours is an experience without which you cannot recall that. Therefore, jadatva was there. So, that jada, Atma, turns out to become Chetana Atma because of the appearance of that quality. On waking up, that Chetana quality appears. When you are not in the Anandamaya Kosha Sushupti Avasthayam, Jadatva. When you wake up to waking and deep sleep, Chetanatva. So, what are you? Jada or Chetan? That's what he points there. Jada Bodha Swarupatam Atmanaha Bruvata. Bruvate. Jada bhi ho and Chetan bhi ho. The qualities of Jadatva and Chetanatva both belong to the Atman. And upon waking up, it is Chetanam. When it is sleeping, it is Jadam. This is their argument. Now, Sankhyan should come in. Yeah, bhai. But these people will prove with the Shruti now. I am not just saying that. We can prove with the Shruti. We'll see that in the next class. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhat Bhavet. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.